Criminal charges have been laid against Marineland over shows involving whales and dolphins. Niagara Regional Police launched an investigation in October over allegations that whales and dolphins were being mistreated. Today, the theme park was charged with using the animals for entertainment purposes in violation of the criminal code.
Marineland released a statement today saying its animal presentation contains marine mammals undertaking behaviors they exhibit in ocean environments. It goes on to say Marineland understands why ideologically driven activists would file a police complaint and appreciates the pressure the Niagara Regional Police were put under to lay such a charge. We look forward to the opportunity to defend ourselves in a court of law where the feelings of non-experts are not treated as facts and the truth prevails. Joining us live tonight with their reaction is former mammal trainer Phil Demers, along with a marine mammal scientist at the Animal Welfare Institute, Naomi Rose. Phil, first to you, this charge is being described by lawyers as a technical charge, not an animal cruelty charge per se. What do you take from this?
I mean, the big win today is that the government, and rather the police, are recognizing the criminal aspect of Marineland's existence. And so by virtue of their performances, they themselves are now, as a consequence of a recently passed law called S-203, deemed criminal. So it is a large win today because we've been trying to force Marineland's hand to change for many years. And the consequence in their failure to address much of the issues is today they are illegal.
Naomi, what are the implications here with whistleblowers like Phil calling for these charges for nearly 10 years, right? Is this a breakthrough?
Well, it's good to see that the law enforcement officials are treating the new law seriously. The provision that Marineland is in violation of was actually included probably for Marineland, but they did need to get a license to continue performances, and they didn't even bother doing that, as far as I'm aware. So that just indicates an indifference to the law from Marineland that I don't understand.
Phil, can you describe the pressures being placed on Marineland right now? We know the government has been investigating concerns about the water quality at the park, and that was years ago.
Marineland is now under the pressure of the police, the federal government, the provincial government, the municipal government, the community, activists, NGOs. Basically, they are surrounded with everybody who is insisting on their change, and their defiance at this point is proving futile over the past decade. And we look forward to maybe actually inviting Marineland to the table to find a resolution to all of these issues moving forward.
Is this personal for you, Phil?
I feel personal validation today, but my focus has always been and remains on the animals.
Can you talk about that validation? Because you have made these efforts for years, and we've heard from you in the media. You've blogged about your concerns. How would you characterize this today?
This is a big win for, I tip my hat ultimately to the activists who have stayed true to this cause for, decades. It's beyond since when I started speaking of these issues. And today it's validating to beyond just me, but it is the validation of the great grassroots work that has surrounded much of the challenges Marineland have been facing. And so it really is testament to being able to change the world on account of the fact that Marineland refused to change.
Yeah, and so many developments over the last decade, if not longer. Naomi, has public opinion changed on parks like Marineland?
Oh, yes. The Blackfish effect from the documentary Blackfish that came out in 2013 is very real. I've measured it globally, not only in North America, Canada, and the United States, but everywhere else. It's been seen in Europe. It's even been seen in China, where the industry is unfortunately expanding, but it might contract soon enough when they have their own Blackfish effect. Marineland is regressive. They are caught on the hind foot. They really need to see that they have to end these shows, not just because they're illegal, but because the animals are suffering in these parks. And all of the whales, all of the walruses, all of the sea lions, all of the seals, all of the dolphins that have been at Marineland over the years have suffered. And the current focus should be on their welfare. This particular issue, this charge that's been laid against them, it's just really good to see how the authorities are taking this seriously.
I wonder, Naomi, if there was a place for a marine park like this to exist in the 21st century, how would a company like Marineland adjust to be able to be approved in the court of public opinion?
I honestly believe that most of these places, Marineland's an amusement park. Why doesn't it be an amusement park, a cutting-edge, thriving amusement park with rides and virtual reality and IMAX theaters and immersive exhibits and the sort of virtual reality, the sort of holographic cutting-edge technology of the future? If they got into that, even if they couldn't afford everything, because I'm sure some of these things are quite expensive, but not all of them are. They've been around for a while. If they got into that sort of thing, people would flock to Marineland again. But as long as they rely on these outdated animal shows using wildlife that belongs in the wild, they're going to be failing.
Yeah, and we know Marineland will be in court mid-February on this charge from back in August. But Naomi, where do we go from here in terms of, again, both the court of public opinion and what happens next?
Well, we really hope that Marineland chooses. This is their choice unless the law cracks down on them, which I would hope they would decide to get ahead of this and make it their own choice. Unless Marineland chooses to work with those who are trying to build sanctuaries, seaside sanctuaries that could house some of these whales and dolphins that are in failing facilities, if they would agree to rehome some of their other animals, they have bears and bison and elk. All of these animals are suffering at Marineland, and they need to be rehomed. Marineland needs to focus on its roots, which is as an amusement park, and end this exploitative display of wildlife.
Phil, can you remind us of more concerns that you have flagged? We know that there's water quality issues that are being looked into, and now, animal cruelty allegations. Is there anything else that Marineland is under investigation for that's being flagged by activists like you?
Yes, I mean, that is the focus of our efforts. Again, this charge that they're currently dealing with is their failure to get a license to continue their performances. The animals do need something to do. And, unfortunately, Marineland didn't take it seriously. And I find that really hard to understand. The animals, however, need better conditions. And that's not happening because I don't think they really have the money to put into this facility anymore, and that's not good for the animals. So these other charges that are being pursued in investigations, these animal cruelty charges, these water quality problems, these, lack of proper veterinary care, that's very concerning to me. And Kiska in particular, Kiska, the loneliest orca in the world. She's the only orca. I'm an orca biologist. She is the only captive orca in the world that is completely alone. There are a couple of other solitary orcas, but they have other dolphins with them. Kiska has nobody.
And we have seen those videos. Phil, you've shared them as well. Final thought, Phil?
I'm echoing Naomi's thoughts. I wish Marineland would come to the table and try to find a joint resolution to satisfy everybody. I think that I really believe that Marineland can really repair much of their tarnished legacy with joining the table and finding proper resolutions. And again, at the end of the day, everybody care for what's best for the animals, and we hope that Marineland can sort of come to the table in that capacity as well.
Okay. Phil, Naomi, we appreciate you both making time for
you.
CP24 tonight. Thank you for this discussion.